in 1977 was in Hamar Tumare, and Hari Bhai was the leading man. He played my father in that film, and and obviously that was the beginning of my career. And 79, the film released, 1979. So whenever people ask me, I said, how many years since you are, acting? So I said, if you count from 79, and thanks to Hari Bhai, that I was, there in the film, and people, I don't know if they noticed me or not, because I just had a very big role. But that's what I learned from Hari Bhai, कि रोल बड़ा छोटा नहीं होता है, धीरे 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 छोटे छोटे रोल करके कहीं ना कहीं आपको कोई ना कोई नोटिस करेगा. और अगर आप में टैलेंट है, अगर आप कुछ कर सकते हो, तो कहीं आप दूर भी बैठे रहेंगे तो आपको नोटिस करेगा और आपको काम मिलना शुरू हो जाएगा. तो इसी तरह हरि भाई की तरह मैंने भी अपना करियर शुरू किया, उनसे ही इंस्पायर होके छोटे छोटे रोल करके. सो हमारे तुम्हारे में मेरा एक छोटा सा रोल था जहाँ मैं हरि भाई के जितने काफ़ी बच्चे हैं उस फिल्म में, उनमें मैं आई वाज हिज वन ऑफ हिज सन्स विद लकी पकी एंड देयर वाज राकेश बेदी. सो 4-5 बच्चे हैं उसमें, एक मैं भी था हमारे तुम्हारे में. तो 79 एक्चुअली इन अ वे फिल्म रिलीज, तो 79 से 2022 कितने साल हो गए? 43 years. So I am, you can say, since 43 years I am in this business.
Many cheers to you, sir. And भगवान आपको और बहुत लंबी उम्र दे, sir. Sir, there is a very beautiful incident in the book that we have referred to. After the sad demise of Hari Bhai, when the will had to be probated, there was Jyoti ji and there was Uday ji, and it took 6 lakhs to probate the will. And your brother was the first one to come forward and give money to Jyoti ji and Uday ji and say, go ahead and probate the bill. Are you aware of this, sir?
No, I'm not aware of this.
So I'm telling sir something that he doesn't know, thankfully, about Sanjeev ji. So sir, your entire family has a very abiding relationship. I think Surinder sir was with Shammi ji at some point.
Absolutely.
And Hari Bhai, Surinder sir and Shammi ji were very close.
Yes.
So I think it's a long and abiding relationship with your family.
Yeah,
would you like to comment
on that? They were drinking friends. No, we have to enjoy today. We have to have a lot of fun. Let's, they were drinking friends, and all three of them were fond of drinking. So my dad was very fond of drinking. Hari Bhai was very fond of drinking. And we have had some great meals. And Hari Bhai used to love my cooked food made by my mother, and used to love the payas which my mother used to make. And he would just go completely, so he would love food so much. And my mother she is, one of the finest cook in the film fraternity. I can vouch that. And her payas and her palau and everything made, Hari Bhai just loved it, absolutely loved it. So yes, my father was Sanjeev Kapoor's secretary, and used to, and of course, those were the days. There was nothing called secretary or assistant and all. Everybody lived absolutely equally, and everybody was treated like a family. So they all were like a family. It's just that it was a kind, a title that he's a secretary, but actually he was a family member of, and Hari Bhai and all were there. So there you would go, and Shami uncle used to have a lot of parties at his Blue Heaven, which is there in Malabar Hill, his house over there, and Hari Bhai used to come over there, and so they were very friendly. So it is their friendship also which really, to a certain extent, the reason for Hari Bhai to say yes to Hum Panch.
Ji.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Uday,
I can go on, sorry, I've got too
sir,
many
please go on. We are here for you.
Sorry.
Uday ji, about the food that Hari Bhai liked at home, I think he had a lot of Gujarati dishes, and he had a favorite restaurant in Bandra. That all of that we've mentioned in the book. Would you like to take us through some of his other favorite food items?
Like Anil said, paya, I know, because there were a lot of paya parties which I used to attend, so paya was his favorite. And khichda. Basically, in the house was veg.
What is khichda?
It's mutton and
It's lamb and dal.
Yeah. Like something like a dal gosh or something.
Dal gosh.
So basically that was it. And Chinese, the gazebo that time was in Rhode Island. So gazebo was his favorite joint, so he used to be there a lot of things, times like that.
Anilji, looking back, the generation today may not be aware of Haribhai's national award winning films. Dastak hai, Koshish hai. I think today's generation will know Haribhai by Silsila or Sholay
Trishul.
or Trishul. All
All
time.
the comedy films he had, fantastic. He was a great comedian. He was one of the finest comedians. I used to love Haribhai's timing, sense of timing. People, talk about so many other actors, but he was the best comedian, and being a comedian and having this great timing as an actor is a hallmark of a great actor. Drama, tragedy comes very easy. I'm being very honest, but comedy या तो आप में है या तो नहीं है. कोई सिखा नहीं सकता उसको आपको.
So which brings me to the question, which are your favorite performances of Haribhai?
My favorite, I can just keep on telling you, I think every performance from Dastak to Koshish to Sholay to Anamika and Manchali and I've seen all his films and especially all the films which he did. And I think Jaya Bhadri, who's Jaya Bachchan ji now, and Haribhai, I think they made a fantastic pair. All the films directed by Gulzar Saab and Haribhai, I think it was like Martin Scorsese and Robert De Niro. Gulzar Saab and Haribhai. Andhi, till today I keep on watching again and again and again and again. Mausam, these films are phenomenal. The music is, in the morning
R.D.
also when I'm
Burman
getting
sir.
ready, R.D. Burman Saab's music, Gulzar Saab's lyrics, his direction, Haribhai's acting. They're all films which are absolutely classics. And आज भी सुबह उठता हूँ मैं अपना मेकअप करता हूँ या बाल बनाने होते हैं या ऐसा बैठे तो सुबह आंधी के गाने लगा लेता हूँ. मौसम के गाने, and there are certain songs sung by even the great Bhupender Singh, in Mausam is, they are, evergreen songs. And all the songs in Andhi also are evergreen. Music.
तेरे बिना जिंदगी से कोई शिकवा तो नहीं.
Absolutely. And so there are so many, I can just go on and on, from the time. Then I've seen a lot of his stunt films also. Haribhai's, he was, Raja Aur Rank was one of the first films as a kid when I saw. Raja Aur Rank were other, in a way, Raja Aur Rank would have not been possible if Haribhai was not there in the film. Raja Aur Rank were two new boys, but actually, basically, the film was headlined by Sanjeev Kumar, Raja Aur Rank, and it was a Golden Jubilee hit. Absolutely a Golden Jubilee hit, I remember.
Anil sir is talking about times when you can imagine a young, shirtless Sanjeev Kumar sir looking like a chocolate boy, wearing just a waistcoat. That is the time he's talking about, and there are so many reviews at the time. And Sanjeev Kumar made the arduous journey from these kind of stunt films to mainstream, hero. And since Anil sir spoke about Martin Scorsese has made a list of 40 films you must watch before you die. And one of them is Shatranj Ke Khiladi.
Absolutely. Matter of fact, I was in Lucknow 3 days back, and that's what I mentioned. I said I've never ever shot in Lucknow, but I remember Lucknow only with Shatranj Ki Khiladi. I think Lucknow, Sanjeev Kumar Sahab, because Satyajit Ray Sahab, one of the greatest filmmakers of the world on planet till today, made a film, first Hindi film, and who does he cast? He cast Sanjeev Kumar. I'm sure anybody would have just posted it in front of him and said, please, mujhe le lo. But he casted Sanjeev Kumar for Shatranj Ki Khiladi. And the film was critically acclaimed all over the world. And I'm sure not only the film also, but he made Lucknow with his appearance in Shatranj Ki Khiladi. The great Satyajit Ray and the great Sanjeev Kumar.
You are also here for a very, very special reason other than your memory, to probably ensure that history does remember Haribhai. Thanks to your presence, you have made the story known to so many more people. Thanks to your presence here today.
No, absolutely. I'm nobody compared to, the kind of achievements, and it's an honor and privilege that you say such kind words. But to be honest with you, I think his films have stood the test of time. His relationships have stood the test of time. His generosity will stand the test of time. Actors will come and go, performances will come and go, but he will always be remembered forever and ever because the kind of work he did. And the unfortunate part is that I think life took him away very, very early in his life. He had definitely 30, 40 years or more acting left in him. That's the only, unfortunate part because I'm sure, but still, whatever, it's not the length of time which you spend on this planet, but it's the quality and the kind of work which you do, and that's what he did, and he'll be always remembered as one of the greatest actors of Indian cinema, and a trailblazer, and a person who I think generations will admire. Not only generations which has come, few generations which have come after him, but many more generations, even after all of us, will remember Sanjeev Kumar, the greatest, one of the greatest actors of Indian cinema.
So first of all, thank you for the wonderful insights in the life of Haribhai and how he became Haribhai to Sanjeev Kumar. So that is one question, and he must have performed umpteen number of plays right here. We have Tejpal Auditorium. It's just like a minute away from this iconic place. So a huge round of applause on the, remembering Sanjeev Kumar, and it should reach out to the Tejpal Auditorium on remembering him, his wonderful performances, and how Haribhai became Sanjeev Kumar. Obviously, theatre plays a very vital role in his life. And so every director on seeing him would have sung this line, "Tum aa gaye ho," because he was a person who would never fail any of the directors, and that's how he was. So I would love, to say something more about his journey from Haribhai to Sanjeev Kumar. Any one of you? The question, and then to the audience, if you all have, you all can kindly raise. I'll pass on the mic. Thank you.
So it was Savan Kumar Tak Sahab who gave him the name Sanjeev Kumar. So initially ऐसा था that उस टाइम पे कुमार बड़े चल रहे थे, राजेंद्र कुमार, दिलीप कुमार. So when Haribhai went to him, he said, तेरा नाम कुमार होना चाहिए. And then the question was, what should be the first name? So then Savan Kumar Tak Sahab said that Sanjay कर देते हैं, संजय कुमार बन जा. Then तभी संजय खान एक यंग एक्टर थे और उनकी एक पिक्चर बड़ी सक्सेसफुल हो गई. तो सावन कुमार तक साहब called him again, संजय नहीं संजीव बन जा. So that is the journey of Haribhai to Sanjeev Kumar. Thank you for that question, Harshil.
So I was briefly going through your book and watching the pictures. So there was one picture with Shivaji Ganeshan, and if you recollect, he has also done this 9 roles. So was it a copied film from there? That is where the inspiration came from.
It is basically, it was an adaptation of the film which Shivaji Ganeshan ji had done. Like for example, Bosat Din also is an adaptation of Andhel Natkal. So there are certain adaptations. Then what they would do is take the rights of the film and adapt it to the the sensibility which will reach to different Hindi speaking states and other internationally also to the Indian diaspora. So it's an adaptation of the film originally which Shivaji Ganeshan Saab had done. This is what my recollection is. I'm sure that is the truth also.
Yeah.
They were great friends too, Shivaji Ganeshan and...
one second.
Yes, Kadir bhai.
Sir, I am coming from Surat, former mayor Surat. हरीभाई का हमने वहाँ ऑनर किया था राज साहब के साथ ऑन बिहाफ ऑफ कॉरपोरेशन और गवर्नमेंट. और हरीभाई के गुजरने के बाद हमने सूरत शहर में संजीव कुमार मार्ग बनाया और दत्त साहब ने वो उसका ओपनिंग किया था. और उसके बाद सबसे बड़ी बात, गवर्नमेंट ऑफ गुजरात ने संजीव कुमार ऑडिटोरियम 70 करोड़ से ज़्यादा, जिसका ओपनिंग हमारे नरेंद्र मोदी साहब ने किया था. और वो मेमोरी आज भी याद है. और संजीव साहब का पूरा फैमिली सूरत से था, उनकी मकान, उनके बच्चे, मतलब ये उदय और ये सारी फैमिली वहाँ से थी. और आज मुझे प्राउड है कि आप यहाँ पे हैं और हम संजीव साहब को सलाम करते हैं. थैंक यू वेरी मच.
I just want to let everyone know that Kadir Bhai is a very important contributor in the book. So media people अगर यहाँ पे हैं तो please उनसे बात कीजिए. His memories have contributed to making this book closer to the truth of what Hari Bhai was. Kadir Bhai, thank you.
Thank you. Anil sir, one question for you. If anyone whom you think of can, if it's adapted into a movie, whom would you like to see portray as? Any thoughts of yours?
See, I say, I feel कुछ भी आप करने जाओ, this is, I feel without the blessings of the family, वो पनपती नहीं है. क्योंकि कहीं ना कहीं, it's not a very easy task to cast anybody in a film. So I think there will be a thorough process which will happen before we, before all of us decide who the person who will. So I can't just. It's not something which is very casual or favorless कि मैं किसी का भी नाम ले लूँ. He has to deserve. He has to be capable, and he has to have the passion and the kind of love we have for Hari Bhai. He should have the same thing when he comes in front of the camera. Otherwise, फायदा नहीं है. You understand? So he has to. I think whoever will be has to fight for it. It's not. I'm not going to. We're not going to do it just कि किसी को भी ले लेंगे. ऐसा नहीं होगा.
I don't have a question. I'll just share something. So my grandmother, she's no more, but two favorite films, all-time favorite films that she had. One was Sangam, because that was her idea of romance, even though she was from another generation. And one was Yahi Hai Zindagi. And for her, that movie was the whole philosophy of life. Every situation in life, she could, kind of corroborate with the film ka moments or the journey of the character. And every real person in life somehow connected to that film. So I just wanted to maybe remember Sanjeev ji with that film and the idea of God coming and participating in someone's journey of life. So whoever the writer is, I'm sorry, I do not know, but such a beautiful film and such a wonderful character that he played. Again,
Yahi Hai Zindagi was an adaptation of a South Indian film. Yahi Hai Zindagi, and it was made, I think if I'm not mistaken, by B. Nagi Reddy. And Yahi Hai Zindagi, and I remember I was just starting off as an actor, and if I'm not mistaken, I tried to get that film as an actor, because there were other roles also, but unfortunately I couldn't be part of it. But Yahi Hai Zindagi was one of my favorite films also, and it was a big success. And it's a lovely film where he appears, वो प्रकट होते हैं as the Almighty. That's one of the reasons that when we were casting Hampanch, and we needed someone who would play Krishna. And I said, किसको लें? There's nobody better than him. So, that was his stature, that was his personality, that was his aura, his not only as an actor but as a human being, his smile, one of the greatest, finest smiles you can ever. वो हंसते तो खिल जाता था, पूरा room, पूरा screen खिलता था. So his anger, when he would be angry, he didn't need to punch 100 people or punch 100 times. Just with his eyes, he could kill people with his anger. When he holds someone, when he talked to Gabbar Singh, and he would smile and do comedy, and you would be completely dil gadgad ho jata tha. That was Sanjeev Kumar. Beautiful smile and a fierce anger. A combination. Sanjeev Kumar.
I think this book, with his amazing humility, sir, we are so honored because you have elevated Hari Bhai for all of us once again, and you have made, I'm sure that every youngster will now look at you and want to revisit Hari Bhai's films that start in the 1960s. So thank you so much, Anilji. We are in your debt. Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to thank all of you all. Thank you and thank Uday Bhai for giving me this opportunity. And I'll always be grateful. Thank you so much.
बट कितना भी स्माइल करूँगा ऐसी स्माइल नहीं आती हरी भाई जैसी स्माइल नहीं आती नॉट पॉसिबल वो आंखें वो स्माइल बहुत कोशिश की मुश्किल है